Alright guys, video blog time. So my name is Nicholas Anderson. You can call me Nick. I went to Westminster High School. That is just about 7 miles down the 405 south. I played football for 4 years. Enjoyed that sport, loved it. Was on varsity for 3 years. Started at quarterback my senior year. It was very fun. Um, Aside from football, I played baseball for 8 years. Ended on my freshman year, just out for the sport. Then I went on to track. Did the hurdles there. It's pretty fun. Got scrapes on my knees. Still got some scars. Got stories with all of them if you ever want to know. Then I decided to learn how to play an instrument. Thought it'd be fun. Learned how to play trumpet. Not the greatest, not the worst. My senior year, wanted to do a low impact sport. Decided to do golf. Pretty relaxing sport. Aside from that, went to Long Beach because pretty close. Pretty good time. I like the campus. It looks pretty. Aside from that, I'm a bio major. Like science. Experiments are fun. Pretty much why I do it. Yeah. Not really huge on math, but the science part, I guess, takes over for that. Um, Took Art 110, meet an art requirement, but class is a lot better than I expected. My friend wanted me to take theater, but I think this was a way better choice than that. And then my definition of art. So, when I was in elementary school, we had this art teacher come in from Europe. She's from Switzerland. She would come every year or so. And she asked us what our definition of art was. And at the time, I said painting. That's all I thought art was. But now, just from my third grade self, my opinion has changed. And it's art to me is anything that evokes an emotion. So as far as when you see it or hear it, it makes you feel something. And it can always be, good, bad, sad, or mad. Um, but yeah, because when you go do math, yeah, it's frustrating, but it doesn't really make you feel an emotion. But when you see a painting, most of the time, you know, you you're gonna feel something. Whether it's, just you're impressed that someone was able to take the time to make that masterpiece, or you really get the message and understand the life of the painter or the artist or whatever. Um, Aside from that, though, I think art's a whole thing in its own, obviously. But with when you go into sciences, like chemistry labs, you always have a procedure, step by step. Art, you don't really have that. In chemistry, you always go down to the end of the experiment, and you're always supposed to have something, and if you're wrong, you have a percent error. I think the best part of art is that percent error is what keeps you apart from the other artists. Like, that's what makes you different. That's what makes it good, is no matter how many times you try to do the same thing, it's going to be different. You can't just follow the same procedure. Your hand's not going to be as steady the first time. There's going to be those little imperfections that make art the best. And that's what I like about it is you can do stuff so many times, but always be different, and it can always be yours. You can try to copy someone's stuff, but it's never going to be exactly the same. So you always have your own little imperfections in their work. And when you go on to do your own things, your imperfections are what make it yours. So art's anything for me is anything that can evoke an emotion and just makes you look or listen or stop and just appreciate the time and effort that went into that. It just makes you think, like, I'm glad we're in a country that allows us like express ourselves. Just got finished watching a movie, forgot what it's called, but my dad was watching it. But it was a movie where it was kind of like, or the book, like it was more or less like the book 1984, where they have no individuality, and so everything's just black and white or gray. And then having art is what sets us apart from those kind of societies where we're allowed to be different. And art is that stepping stone where you can really express yourself, show off to the world what's going on in your head. Sometimes you can't put things into words, but when you take it to, an easel and a paintbrush, sometimes that can be all the words you need. Alright guys, I think I'm going up to 5 minutes now, so I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for listening.